All right. Hey, I'm Daniel Brantley, founder of Argyle Fox Publishing, and I'm thrilled to be talking with Tracy Champion, illustrator of Crystal Cox Scheimer's Pickles and Pork Rind series, and author and illustrator of Ollie, the Little Bigfoot. Tracy, thank you so much for joining me today.
Hey.
Very excited to have you, and you worked exceptionally hard to promote your book, Ollie. And I'm constantly amazed at how persistently you push it out there, and you're always doing interviews and events, and um, I'm just impressed. You stay busy, and I really appreciate it because you're doing what it takes to make your book a success.
Well, we try to think out of the box. We really enjoy Ollie the Little Bigfoot. We thoroughly, I think because it was so important to my family that everybody gets excited to do something with it.
Yep.
So um it's it was never a chore to do anything. It was never, we find it so incredibly exciting to see it go to the next step and the next step
Mm-hmm.
and it's, we just get excited about it.
Yeah,
It's
indeed. Well, that excitement is infectious. I think people are picking
yeah,
up on it. That's why it's doing so well. Uh,
yeah,
and so, while you had great success with Ollie, and we're super excited about it, as you know, we're not here to talk specifically about Ollie,
yeah, yeah.
but we're going to be talking about teachers pay teachers. It's a marketing opportunity I'd never heard of until you presented it to me. So I'm super thankful that you're willing to talk about teachers pay teachers and help other authors learn about this opportunity. So let's start with kind of a big question. Well, actually, it's not that big of a question, but this question will help people realize if they want to keep watching this interview. Question one: what kind of authors can benefit from teachers pay teachers?
So children's authors, something that is educational, something that would benefit um, groups of children. Um, you want to do something. For example, like if you're writing a book about just jokes, that would not be a good fit for teacher pay teacher. They try to find books that they could bring into the classroom and use as an educational tool um, with their classrooms, other classrooms, and it's just a great way of getting your book heard. I'm sure that with I only deal with the younger levels, like the elementary school levels, but I'm sure that there's avenues out there for like middle school and early high school as well.
Yep. Yeah, it showed K through 12, which interested me.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
so when you speak of something with educational value, you don't mean it's a textbook. It doesn't need to be
Oh
plus
no.
minus. What tell us a little bit real quick about kind of Ollie. What does Ollie teach that teachers find beneficial in the classroom?
So we originally wrote Ollie to be a book just about children on the spectrum, but the way that my daughters kind of um, formatted it and
Mm,
we brought it to everybody is that it benefits everybody. We wanted to show something that showed the differences in people, that you can do things this way, I can do it that way, but we can all still be friends together and we can accept one another.
yeah.
And so that's one thing that appeals to classrooms, especially younger classrooms, because they're trying to teach kids that we can all get along. At an early age, they're just trying to find their way through life, and they're trying to find, a lot of them have, um, when you're young, you test your boundaries. And, you know, they look for things that would help kids. um Sorry, I'm using a lot, but they look for things that would help teach kids how to work together in unity.
Yeah.
And that's why Ollie was such a good success with that, because Ollie kind of teaches you that it's okay to be different, it's okay to work together. We're actually working on doing a teacher pay teacher for Crystal, for the pickles and pork rind,
Oh, very
because
cool.
anything that shows friendship,
Mm,
that shows working together, how to problem solve, how to reach other people, and and teach good behavior, that's I think what they focus on. I think they focus on things that can that have those special ingredients together to help kids work together um, without them fighting.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, very neat. Well, the program is called Teachers Pay Teachers and sounds like a site explicitly for teachers, but here we are talking about how authors can benefit from this site. Explain what they do at Teachers Pay Teachers so that authors can kind of have an idea of how is this going to benefit me? This is a teacher website.
So basically, it's been a huge gift for myself. I was approached by a teacher of mine because I obviously am not a teacher, but I have 3 kids that they've had teachers, 2 of my children are grown up. So I was approached by one of these teachers that fell in love with the book and said, she introduced me to Teacher Pay Teacher. And so what that does is they create curriculums to go along with your books so that the whole class can enjoy it, and not in just one day, but they make it stretch out to the week. So it's like a week project that they have all these activities that go along with your book. Right. And what that does is it gets your book into the school systems. And it's very hard to get into the school systems because Scholastic has a huge lockdown on it. But it's worth making friends. Like we were friends with all of our teachers that my kids have, and they were happy to do that for us. And, the one that did Ollie for us is, just overwhelmed and said, of course I'll do it for Crystal as well. They don't make a lot of money for this. They do it so they can help other teachers bring more interesting things into their classroom.
You're saying that the teachers don't make a lot of money because when they put your materials, your resources online, they actually sell those to other teachers. Is that correct? Where they can use them in your classroom all over the U.S.?
Yes. Yes. So, and they're not expensive. I think Ollie was like $5 or $6. I'm not sure. But it's once one teacher purchases it, they can use it throughout the whole school system. So I know in our area, our teachers purchased it. And so they have that in their catalog that for every year that they get new school students, they bring out Ollie and the activities for that week. This is what we're going to use. We're going to read Ollie. And then I've even had like going through mainly grocery stores, going through grocery stores, seeing some of the parents and the kids that I do not know, but they recognize my t-shirt. And they're like, we read Ollie at school today. Mom, that's Ollie. And then the parent asks, they talk to me and they're like, where can I get that book? And I'm like, sure. Most of the time I give it out of the back of my car, but I'm supposed to be saying on Amazon.
Yeah, you can do that. It's your book. You do whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's getting the word out there. That's great.
Yeah, and it's incredible because even I make everybody in our family wear our Ollie t-shirts because we get noticed for it and we get the biggest kick out of it in our area.
Yeah.
And people come up to us because their kids had that in their school and they did the curriculum with it. And it's fun activities. And even churches, I've found like 4 churches that were doing the Ollie activities. So it's not only for school, it's other things as well. And then I spoke to one of the managers at the library that Ollie's in, and she said that she bought it and she's using it for her summer camp this year.
Wow.
So it goes beyond the school. It just has like a dominoes effect. And it's really, really good for somebody to try to get involved. It's good for your book sales. It's good for getting your book out there to be noticed. Sorry, it got real dark. We're getting really bad storms here.
Yeah, you're okay.
Yeah. But it's an amazing program, and it benefits teachers. So the money goes to teachers.
Yeah, that's really neat. So the teachers are creating this curriculum and putting it on there, but yours is actually different, right? You actually created a lot of your curriculum, at least. Is that correct?
Yes, each teacher, before Ollie ever came about, and if you're just speaking about the Teacher Pay Teacher program, they go out and they search for material that interests them and that they think will will be interesting for their classroom. They want to keep things fun. They want to keep them upbeat. They want to engage with the kids. So you can go to a store and buy these activities for a lot of money. There's like these teacher stores all across America, and they spend tons of money on buying material like this. But the teachers have started getting smart, and they started creating this material themselves.
Yeah.
And put it on this website. So, and some of them are free as well. Um, you know, they go on there and they find activities that are kind of out of the box and kind of new and improved, and things that they know that the kids want to look at. And so it's a great program. And it's just, it's really, I can't say enough nice things about it.
Yeah. And if an author wanted to get their materials, their resources put up on the site, they need to be in PDFs. And then do they need to get those to a teacher to upload? And does it cost them anything to do that?
It does not, it did not cost me anything. I was approached by a friend of ours who is a teacher, and I always encourage people to engage with the local school systems. Talk to the librarians at the local school system, talk to, I was quite prepared to donate books to our local school systems, but they wanted to support us and they purchased the books. Yeah. So I would go locally first and then let it spread. It spreads like wildfire. That's I heard from a friend of mine that's in Alabama, and she was like, my son just did a class on your book. And I was like, are you kidding me? So it spreads. But I encourage to make friends with your teachers. They're amazing people. They want to hear your story. They want to create things like this because they don't want to do the same thing all the time. Yeah. And what was great with me is she allowed me to use my own illustrations. A lot of times they pull out stock photos and they use in there a lot of clip art. Yeah. But she allowed me to have creative design on the artwork. Cool. I got to use a lot of my own drawings in there, and the same with Crystal. I'm creating hers, using her own like the illustrations in there. So that's what was really great for me, is because I wanted it to be Ollie. So if you're the illustrator of the book as well as the author, ask to do all your own stuff, because they'll allow you to create your own line drawings to go in there.
Yeah, that's really neat. But otherwise, non-illustrators should not be intimidated, correct? They can grab clip art. They can just send their questions. They can ask the teachers to come up with the questions and create it themselves.
Yeah, the teachers normally they do the curriculum. The teacher will create the curriculum for you.
Okay.
I'm not that intelligent to create classwork from K to ours is to fourth grade. Yeah. So the teacher will create it for you. So you can have that, sigh of relief.
That is a big sigh of relief. So then they create the curriculum and they kind of present that to you. And then if you're an illustrator, you can come up with your illustrations to work along with it. Okay. Exactly. Very cool.
It's lovely. And they like, if I wouldn't have created the illustrations, we went back and forth with each other, and she said, how do you like this idea? And I said, oh, I really like that. I said, but can we tweak it to this? And she was like, absolutely. And so it's kind of like how our relationship is. Yeah. It's like working with you.
Yeah, give and take. Yeah, back and forth.
And most teachers that I have that I have personally come across that have used the Ollie curriculum, they kind of tweaked it to suit their own needs in their classroom.
Sure.
So it's very flexible. It's just a great way of getting your book out there, and a great way of having it seen through another person's eyes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And so think about this, it's super exciting, and the possibilities. Obviously, it's easier if you have kids and or if you just know teachers. You don't have to have kids, right? Teachers are all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
But you can even approach, like you said, the librarian seems like a good end because
Yes.
they interact with all the teachers and all the students also.
Yeah.
But so getting your materials, part of teachers pay teachers, is one thing. Getting teachers to buy your materials and see the use of it is another. Do you have to do any marketing on that end, or is it really once you find a teacher who believes in what you're doing, is it a done deal?
So it's there's just like there's thousands and thousands of curriculums out
Yeah.
there. So because of the nature of Ollie, I donated a lot of mine to the schools, and
Yeah.
I highly recommended that because once they saw it and they saw it in the class, word of mouth went like wildfire.
Yeah.
And then people started going there and requesting it and purchasing it, but we wanted it to be a gift. So we, like anybody who contacted us, we gifted it out just because of the nature of Ollie.
Yeah, that's amazing.
But what I do recommend is for your first go around is donate it to the school. Let the school um, use it and fall in love with it, and the word of mouth will take care of it. It really will. It's easy social marketing. It really is. The little kids love the books. The children just come in and they get excited about it. And then they tell their parents about it as well. And then the parents are like, okay, well, where can we get this book? You
Yeah.
know? And so on each teacher pay teacher account, she tells you where you can get the book, or, they tell most of them say where you can get the book. And that in turns is sales for you.
Yeah, and so speaking of sales, I know it can be a little tricky kind of tracking why people buy books, where they're going and stuff like that. But have you noticed a bump in sales since you have entered into the world of Teachers Pay Teacher?
Um, I'm a hard one to judge by that because we've donated a lot of
Yeah.
things, but I've noticed more opportunities have opened for us
Mm.
across the board. I've had people contact me that they wanted to do podcasts with me. The people around the world, like we're doing
Wow.
podcasts and interviews with people over in Poland, and I have a couple set up for England.
Mm.
Um, so, and then, we, as soon as I tell people that I have a teacher pay teacher account, they're like, oh, yeah. Like the zoo immediately was like, oh, let me see the book.
That's amazing.
So it's a good icebreaker and it's a good way of getting your foot in other doors as well.
Mm.
We just, as a family, we wanted Ollie to succeed, but we wanted good to come for it. So we don't everything we get from Ollie we put back in the system somewhere.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very generous. Was there anything we haven't touched on that, writers may need to know about this unique program, this opportunity of getting the word out and possibly selling some more books?
Be kind to your teachers.
It makes a difference, doesn't it?
It does. When you have your support from your school system, you really, really can take off. And you can have the best book in the whole wide world, but unless you have people reading it and looking at it, you're not going to be able to sell it. And we found that talking to people, talking to your school systems, speaking to your teachers, and making that connection, like I said before, we already had that connection with most of our teachers in our area,
Mm.
and they were so thrilled for us that they wanted to share it with all of their teacher friends.
Yeah.
So it really does pay to get involved with the school systems and the teacher pay teacher program. And but be kind to your teachers. They work very hard.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And sometimes don't get thanked a whole lot and don't get a whole lot of love from their parents. So it's important.
Yeah.
And so Tracy, and everyone watching, I highly recommend you pick up the Little Bigfoot to see what all the talk's about. And Tracy, where can people find you online to learn more about you and to follow you online? Because not only are you doing teachers pay teachers, if you follow her online, you will see it's like a master class in independent marketing. She is full throttle, pedal to the metal. Where can they find you and follow you and maybe learn some tips and tricks along the way?
Um, Instagram, you can follow us on Ollie the Little Bigfoot on Instagram. That's where we have the most response. We're on Facebook, but it's under Tracy Feller Champion on Facebook. We focused a lot of our energy on Instagram because we've got a lot of feedback on Instagram and a lot of um, positive things come from Instagram. But never think you should do it just one way. Think out of the box. Be create. You're so creative to create these books and to make these stories up. Think of a way to expand that. You don't have to pay lots of money for social media. Create your own social media.
Mm.
You know, everybody's so amazing. Don't be cookie cutter.
Mm.
That's we. If you like it, then maybe somebody else is going to like it. So that I always encourage people just think out of the box with social media. It does. We have not paid anybody to do social media marketing for us. We did it all as a family, and I am the biggest goober with social media. I have all thumbs. My children kind of guided me through that, but we've had such a fun experience with it, and I encourage everybody to just think out of the box, keep going forward, and talk talk to your neighbors, talk to your workers, and always bring up your book.
Mm. Very well. Thank you so much, Tracy. And again, thank you for talking to us about Teachers Pay Teachers. And for those interested, and if you're listening this far, you are, it's teachers with an S, pay teachers with an S.com, teacherspayteachers.com. And thank you again for your willingness to share about this, Tracy. Here's to more children getting their hands on Ollie the Little Bigfoot and all the other books you have up your sleeve.
Yes.
Very good. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Mm.